in today's game that scab is not having a point guard.
Kelly out of the corner for three.
Waving out the buzzer. Yeah!
Free. Down to three. Down to two. It's a three. Good! Good! James Harden a flamethrower.
Sengun. Oh, no.
Well, the Rockets fall in their first NBA Cup game of the season to the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. Final score 121-110. It was a very, very messy game. Turnovers galore on both sides. Before we jump into things, Harley, if you are not already, make sure y'all are subscribed to Wheelhouse Media, and so you can catch all of the Red Nation radio episodes that we do here weekly. Harley, what are your main takeaways from this loss?
First off, that's a tough loss, man. I will say this before I do say anything. You wanted 3-1. We got 3-1 out of these 4 games. I know this game wasn't pretty. Kind of felt like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of feel. Not entirely happy. You were exposed tonight. Like your scab was continuously picked on in today's game. That scab is not having a point guard. And you can just see it visibly on this team. They need a point guard. Ime Udoka's post game, he said, we got punked. Not a good day for the Houston Rockets, and certainly lots of reactions from the fans as well, too.
Yeah, definitely some positives. I don't know if you want to start with some of the few positives, and then we can talk about all the negatives. Shepard, he looked very comfortable tonight. He had a couple of defensive mishaps, especially one big time at the end of the game while the Rockets were still running a zone defense. But overall, got to be happy with some of the developments we're seeing from Shepard. He is looking very, very good, shooting the ball with confidence. Love that. We got some good minutes from Tari, Eason, and I'll say this. Obviously, he didn't win the game, but I actually thought Alperen Sengun outplayed Victor Wembanyama tonight. Victor Wembanyama only had 4 points at halftime, finished with 18 in the second half for a grand total of 22. So he came alive, but I didn't think he outplayed Sengun at all. I thought Sengun was the better player on the court tonight. But that's about where the positives end for the Rockets. Bad minutes. Let's start with this one. To me, the box score is going to look better for Kevin Durant than it actually looked. He was getting defended very, very physically, but I think that's going to be a theme all year for him. And the 8 turnovers, my goodness, that is just backbreaking. You cannot have that. It's going to be very hard to win games when your best player has 8 turnovers.
Yeah, understatement. I mean, Kevin Durant having 8 turnovers is abysmal. Not one of his better games at all. The Houston Rockets overall, let's see here, they gave up 33 points off of turnovers for the San Antonio Spurs. 23 turnovers for the Rockets today, 20 for the Spurs. It was a very sloppy game, I'll say that.
Nasty.
But there was a lot of on-ball pressure, especially from the Spurs. And we were talking about this pre-recording. It just seemed like the first quarter and in the second quarter, I was feeling great as a Rockets fan. I'm going, man, we got this in the bag. This Spurs team don't look as bad as don't look as good, at least, as I thought it was. And then the Spurs end the second quarter in a 12-0 run, and it just continued to spiral after that. The on-ball pressure was a lot more forthcoming from the Spurs. Looked like they wanted it just a bit more. The constant offensive rebounds given up. And then my question for you is, how are you feeling about the 2-3 zone?
I saw a lot of people complaining about it on Twitter. I'll say this. I feel like don't forget that the Rockets ran this zone very, very successfully a lot of last season. It is something that they were predicated having one of the best defenses in the league last year. And that was a big part of their having one of the best defenses in the NBA was them running the zone. It has not worked as well, at least to this point of early on in the season. But I understand why Ime doesn't want to get away from it because it was working last year. But when you have weak links in it, kind of like when you have Reed Shepard and Kevin Durant, I'm not sure if that's the best use of their defensive talents is putting them in a zone. I actually, and again, Reed Shepard definitely had some defensive mishaps tonight, but he was a hound. He was a absolute hound, really having active hands. Ultimately, I'll say this: part of the reason why the zone felt like it wasn't working was because we had abnormal shooting nights from Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie. These are good role players, and I think they're solid for the Spurs, but they were combined, 12 for 21 from three. They were just, those two guys right there were absolute killers. Then the rest of the Spurs didn't really do much outside of those two guys. Those two guys were absolutely sensational for the Spurs tonight. Harrison Barnes, 24 points, 8 of 11, and 6 of 9 from three. It's going to be hard to win games whenever we have role players like Harrison Barnes going off for that. But that is life in the NBA. And like I said, Kevin Durant's not going to get outplayed by Harrison Barnes every single night.
No, and there's two parts to it, and you're absolutely right with it. Harrison Barnes started making me feel like I was watching old Golden State Warriors Rockets stuff, man. I was like, no, that's not what I want to see. That's not. I got PTSD still, man. 6 for 9 for threes was insane. I was just like, does this team miss from three? Like, it just felt like him, Champagnie, Devin Vassell was like, I believe 4 for 10 from threes. I mean, my goodness gracious, it just felt like they didn't even miss a shot. It felt like Champagnie shot 13 threes in today's game, and 6 of them went in. Absolutely nuts, shooting 50%. But to your point about the 2-3 zone, I agree with you, actually. I wanted to hear what you were going to say. You can't have it both ways if you're a Rockets fan. Like, the 2-3 zone, granted, wasn't successful in today's game. I thought the refusal to continue with the 2-3 zone, and I think they should have went more man-to-man because there was a lot of turnovers, and the offensive rebounds came from the 2-3 zone just because guys weren't in their right spots from this 2-3 zone. But at the same time, we've seen it have success. And you can't praise Ime Udoka for going with a 2-3 zone in this big lineup when there was times during this game the 2-3 zone actually worked for you. Just, you can't have it both ways if you're a Rockets fan, but I do get why the fans were visibly upset with how this game turned out to be.
Yeah, and the Spurs are a good team, so credit to them that good teams know how to beat the zone in the NBA. And, I think that the Rockets have that in their bag for a reason. So maybe running it less might be good for the future, but I'm not going to panic about that. And Ime Udoka has earned our trust. So I think we just need to put our trust in him. Looking ahead to the next week, Harley, we got Bucks on Sunday in Milwaukee, then 2 home games back-to-back that are very winnable for the Rockets, home against the Wizards, and then the second NBA Cup game next Friday against the Blazers. I would love a 3-0 week, especially coming after this loss. That would feel really good. Statement game, though, potentially Sunday afternoon. No one's going to watch this game because football will be on. But 2:30 afternoon, Rockets at Bucks. That is going to be a big one. Giannis versus KD. Can't wait for that one, Harley.
Yeah, for sure. Milwaukee Bucks, always a fun team to fight. It's always fun to face the good teams like today against the Spurs, 2 teams that were 5-2. It was unfortunate that the best offensive rebounding team in the Rockets just felt like they got out-rebounded. When you look at the box score, the Rockets had more offensive rebounds than the Spurs, 17-15, believe it or not. But yeah, Bucks, good game. Don't be shocked with the Blazers. Blazers playing some really good basketball, man.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the broadcast tonight. This is the group of death, and the Blazers were meant to be the weak link of that group. But that will be next Friday night. But let's get a dub against the Wizards. I'm going to try to actually go to that game, Harley. I'm not going to lie.
Okay,
tickets were very cheap for the return of Cam Whitmore. I can't believe that.
Hey, man, shout out to Cam Whitmore. He's definitely rubbing the Washington Wizards fans the wrong way, as well as the coaching staff. Yeah. Shocker.
but he will get minutes. We will see him on Wednesday night.
That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, and until next time, for Harley, this is Spencer. This has been Red Nation Radio. We will see y'all next time. Until then, go Rockets.